Little shameless self-promotion. Try saying that 3 times fast. Adam Daniel Mezei is my name. Your PMD for hire. Producer of marketing and distribution. Oh yes. So I put a status update out yesterday on Facebook, and I basically said something along the lines of, does anybody know anybody who doesn't have a computer? And of course I'm leaving out people that are in, their golden years who don't know how to use technology. I'm talking about people anywhere, from 9 all the way up till, let's say, 65. Do you know anybody who doesn't use a computer? Okay, with varying degrees of frequency. Some people use a computer 4 times a day. Some people are on the computer all day. Some people use a computer every 2 days. But everybody has varying degrees of computer usage. And I'm not talking about older people that make use of cell phones or mobile phones, for example, just to keep in touch with their relatives or loved ones. I'm talking about full-on computer usage. You earn your living on the computer. You find information on the computer, you make friends on the computer, you socially network, you indicate your location on the globe, you use travel sites, you post your photos. Does anybody know anybody who doesn't do that, who can resist the lure, the temptation, to be totally online all the time? Because that's where basically all of the fruit are hanging off of those branches online. That's where you have to really spend the bulk of your day. Naturally, there are industries that don't necessarily involve computer technology. Well, they do involve computer technology, but at least you don't need computers in order to actually do the things that they do. I think of all the number of trades, bricklaying, tile laying, things like that, building homes and such. Yes, there's technology involved, but it's not like you have to sit in front of a computer and figure databases out. It's just the thought had occurred to me because it's soul-sucking in a way. You spend so much time on that computer that you really, really start to forget all of the other things that brought you to the big show in the first place. In my case, I'd say it's books, and the amount of books that I've read, and the subjects that I've studied, and the themes that I've gone over, and the things that I've made it a mission of mine to try to understand, and the slow, methodical way that I go about understanding those subjects, building my library very slowly, going through the pages, and making sure that I know a particular issue right and cold before I even start to open my mouth about it in a fulsome sort of a way. And I realize that, of course, with all the computer work that we PMDs do, and the other things that I like to do online, I stress the word like to do online. I do it willingly and voluntarily. I don't find myself overwhelmed by the machine. I quite know how to take breaks from it if I need to. But I find that with all that time that I'm spending online, I start to gravitate further and further away from the regular slew of books that I like to read, which is why now, this year, this new month of the new secular year, I've implemented a kind of a program where evenings are for reading. And that means no computer at all. There's no computer that's just on, in case I want to refer to a website referred in the book. No. I go completely unplugged. So thankfully last night I managed to finish off a book that I've been saying I wanted to finish off for at least 2 or 3 weeks. And I've been putting it off and reading a couple of pages. Said, screw this. I'm reading the book. So that's what I did. And of course, on the bikes in the mornings, I do read the book, but I want to make a point of reading off at least 1 book a week. At least 1 book a week. That's a really decent pace. For me, I used to read 2 or 3 books a week, but I want to get at least 1 book done. I think it's important. I think there's a lot of good stuff in books that you can find out online. Anyway, but I'm kind of going off on a tangent about books and computers. What I wanted to say is, I know people have responded on Facebook, and I've seen some of the comments. Some people are basically indicating that people that are not on computers, that are in forlorn locations, remote locations, those don't count. Or people that are old. That doesn't count either. I'm talking about people that are dealing in the day-to-day, that are having conversations with people at cafes, and that can resist the lure of going online. Like the other day I was in a cafe and I saw a guy at around, I think it was, perhaps it was 1 or 2, or the lunch break, but he was just sitting there and drinking coffee. Sitting there and just drinking coffee. And most of the people in there were fiddling around on their cell phones, they were fiddling around on their laptops, they were fiddling around with something, and this guy was doing nothing. I'm talking about people like that. People that, I don't know, the guy who's taking a lunch break. Let's be conservative and say he was taking a lunch break. I'm talking about people like that do absolutely nothing. Nothing to do with technology. At the peak of the day, at the fat of the day here, Eastern Standard Time, you'd think the guy would be busy, busy, dizzy, busy. Say that 3 times fast. But he's not. So, I'd be curious to know. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this particular issue. And I'm sure you think about it a lot, but you can't resist the lure of the computer. Because that's the way it is. Welcome to 2011. It ain't your grandfather's 2011. Wishing you the very best of things.